let me show you close up before I go any further about how I'm doing this. So you can see, so if you're looking at this piece of wood, so you're kind of intermittently doing this end on the outside of a piece of wood, and then you'll do the opposite end on the inside of a piece of wood. And you will do that all the way around. See how that piece of wood is on the outside there? On this end, it is on the inside. Now this piece of wood, down here, it's on the outside, and on this end, it is on the inside. And if you do that all the way around, assuming your cuts are equal and square, then you should have a perfect square. Alright, so I think that's going to be tall enough. That's going to be for my arbor rose. So now all I have to do is take each one of those layers off and start with the second one, going on top of the bottom one. And then I will start adhering them together with a few screws, or maybe even one in each side will probably be enough. One more thing I'm going to show you is how I alternate each layer that I'm putting on. So you see where this one is the outside one. So the next one that I put on right there will be inside. You see the difference? This one is on the outside, this one is on the inside, and that will be the next layer. And so I alternate each time I put a layer down. And now, because my husband is not home, I will put this in the wheelbarrow to get it out there where I need it to be. These are kind of heavy, even though I cut in half every one of those pieces of wood. Landscaping timbers are heavy because they're treated. That ought to do it. So right in here somewhere is where it's going to go. Let's see which side looks best. They look about the same. So this will have to be leveled up, of course. The inspector has to check it out. Okay, it is a beautiful Monday and I'm off today, so I'm going to finish working on this planter box. My husband has dug a nice little level spot for me to be able to put it in. And you can see, let me see if I can get where you can see. He's dug down a couple inches, it looks like. going to do is I'm going to line the inside of this box with this landscape fabric I purchased at Ollie's. It's cheap. You can also line the inside with plastic to help protect it, and it helps prolong the life of it. But I'm going to use landscape fabric just because I think it's a little more durable. And I'm going to put something in the bottom, probably either cardboard or this landscape fabric, either one. From what I understand, cardboard attracts earthworms. And I think that's fabulous because earthworms leave behind something that fertilizes our plants, and they love it. So let's get started. And this is my helper for the day. I can already see what kind of help I'm going to be getting. So now all I have done is I have just kind of folded the top down. Doing this in the middle of the day is not the best idea because I can't get a good focus. So you can see where I have folded the top down. And so down in there I have just lined the side with it. And I'll straighten the bottom of it out just a little bit better here in a minute. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. So ladies, I do not want you to get the notion that just because you are a female that you cannot do these kinds of things by yourself. I do this stuff all the time. You can learn it if you don't know it. If you do know it, you can do it anyway. There's really no need to cut off the excess in length because that's just going to help with a weed barrier. So just leave that down in there and put your organic material in over top of that. Okay, so I've brought over a wheelbarrow full of things from our little compost bed, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to put a few logs down in the bottom first, and it'll take those a long time to decompose, but they eventually will. And then I'm going to put some smaller organic material on top of that. I'm just giving it a shake to let the smaller debris fall down in there. Notice how the debris gets smaller as I get closer to the top. As I get closer to the top, I want debris that's going to be able to break down and decompose a little bit faster. So it's about half full. If it was a bigger bed, I would fill it even more, depending on what I'm putting in there. But because I'm putting a rose in here, I don't want to fill it up too full, because the roots on that rose are already pretty significant and they go down kind of deep already. Okay, so I'm going to start mixing my soil. I'm going to do a little mixture of compost, topsoil, a little bit of peat, and then whatever's left on the top, I will do potting mix. Roses like soil that's just slightly acidic, so that's another good reason to add the peat moss into it. Peat moss is a little acidic. So that worked out about perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and sit the rose down in here and then fill around it with potting mix. Potting mix already has some fertilizers in it. But I will also be adding a little extra. I'm going to build up a little mound in the middle, because the way that the roots are on a rose, they kind of come down like that. Okay, so that's it, guys. And the only other thing I'd done, the camera got hot and wouldn't work, so I had to take it out of the sun. So the only other thing that I'd done was I put a little bit of soil conditioner in it, which is this stuff right here. This is something that my husband gave me, so I don't even know what's in it. But it just kind of feels like a really light layer of mulch, maybe. But it's called soil conditioner on the bag as well. And then I put some cedar mulch on top of it, and that's it. That's all I've done. It's in its permanent home now, and I can hardly wait to see it grow. Shoo! It is hot out there today, y'all. So let me see if I can get that in so you can see it there behind me. I'm finished finally, and I'm not going back out there in that sun. You can see my face is really red. I am burning up, so I'm going to get out of the sun for a while. I can hardly wait to see what that rose looks like as it climbs up the arbor that I have still yet to put up, but it's okay. It looks like it's going to be kind of slow growing anyway. It will not reach its full maturity this year. Next year, from what I understand, after 2 years, then they really get big and really start to fill out and develop and look like a mature arbor rose. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll insert a picture here so you can see what it's going to look like when it gets mature. It is so beautiful, and I cannot hardly wait. I thank you all for joining me. I hope you have learned something. I hope that I have encouraged somebody to build your own planter box for whatever you want to put in it. Ladies, don't let the work of power tools intimidate you. They're not too expensive, so I believe you can learn to use it. Just make sure you use all the safety precautions when you use any kind of power equipment. So thanks for joining me. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.